So thank you all for joining us tonight. So as you probably know, we posted the Game and Fish department posted the rules and information booklet online earlier this week. And this morning at 10 o'clock, we opened the big game draw. So I don't know if you know, Jennifer, but right now there's 63 days to get applications done before the deadline. So there's no excuse for people to be late. we're getting plenty of notice.
And I've been working with a lot of folks already about hunter education. So this is timely for sure, this conversation.
Very timely. One of the biggest questions that we've been getting on social media and in our information center about putting in for the draw is on hunter education and the mentored youth program. And so we wanted to get out here and meet with everybody on Zoom and on Facebook and answer some questions. So we have quite a bit of topics that we're going to cover tonight. But Jennifer, I'm going to start letting you introduce yourself.
Great. Thank you, Tristana. And I appreciate the opportunity to be able to host this and get a lot of information out there because it's starting to ramp up, especially once folks start thinking about the draw deadline, and it starts prompting everybody to think, oh my gosh, I gotta start thinking about the hunts that I want to put in for, and I've got kids, I've got grandkids, got friends, nieces, nephews, and what are their requirements? So this is great. So I'm Jennifer Morgan. I'm the Hunter Education Coordinator for the New Mexico Department of Game and Fish, and I've been with the agency now, oh my goodness, since 2001. So I'll let you all do the math, but it's been a little bit. And and my involvement with the agency before that as well was doing some volunteer work as well as an instructor and some other stuff in fisheries. So, but I've been with the agency a while, and hunter education is definitely my passion. And working with the students, the hunters, the volunteers, the instructors, fellow staff members, it's just super rewarding. So, but yes, today we are going to discuss the options available to you as far as classes. COVID definitely threw a wrench into everybody's plans last spring. And so it has allowed us to kind of adapt and evolve with that challenge. And so that has changed up a lot of what we have been doing for decades. It's not to say we won't return to that, but at the same time, we have evolved to keep services going for hunters, for new hunters, current hunters, and making those requirements available so anybody can take hunter education and meet those statutory requirements either here for New Mexico, or potentially if you're going somewhere else, there's availability there.
So what are the statutory requirements? I know there's a lot of confusion about who can do which classes. So can you break that down, and then we'll jump into more detail on each of the options?
Yes. So, technically here in New Mexico, if you're under 18, you have to have hunter education to apply for the draw hunts and purchase a hunting license. So that's basically it in a nutshell. So what we offer as far as an agency is concerned is a couple of different course types right now. Okay, so due to the health crisis that we're all experiencing, the challenges, we've had to kind of change a little bit of what we do and how we offer, but there are courses available for everybody. So first of all, I'm going to start with our online course or options right now, because obviously that is the biggest group of people that need to be serviced to purchase a license and apply for the upcoming draw. And so I think you mentioned this last night in the conversation, but the upcoming draw deadline is March 17th. So we can put that in the chat as well, but make sure you guys mark your calendars on your smart devices and I'm still kind of a paper person, so I use both. So I put it on a calendar too, that March 17th is the application deadline. It needs to be submitted by it's by 5 p.m., but if you're kind of midstream, it's not going to happen. So that's why we're encouraging everybody to do everything well in advance, especially taking hunter education. So you guys are all going to want to make sure you have your hunter education requirements in place prior to that deadline. I always recommend doing it well in advance, but we do know that life happens but we appreciate y'all hopping on tonight and getting some of this information well in advance. And so then you can pass this on to your friends and family, and networking is awesome. So do that for sure. So the online course options, we rolled that age back to 10 back in March to service for COVID, and we have stuck with that age. So since last March, online hunter education has been available since then for 10 years of age and over. Residents. Okay, so residents only 10 years of age and over. And of course, if you are an adult and you want to apply for any of the McGregor or Fort Bliss military hunts, anybody of any age needs to have hunter education. So that online option is available to you. We have 3 options that are available, and I kind of want to jump on a screen share real quick, Tristana, if that's good.
Yes. Yeah, go for it.
To everybody, so you guys can be familiar with where to find the options for online hunter ed. So let me know if you can see that okay on my screen share.
Yes, looks good.
So I just want to let everybody know that where I am currently right now is the main Game and Fish website. Once you're on the main page, you can navigate through this text bar up here, and you can hover on education. You'll get a drop-down menu. It'll take you to hunter education. You click on that, and that will take you to this main hunter education landing page. And you'll know you're there because it'll say hunter education up here. And there's lots of options here, lots of tabs, and we can come back to this here in a minute, but I'm going to focus right now on online options. You click there, and just below that COVID box is where you'll start seeing the online options that are available to you. And again, it's for residents only, 10 years of age and over. And so here are our options that are available. These 2 in this box right here, these are user pay. So you have these options. You can do the user pay. Either any one of these options will get you what you need for your New Mexico hunter education certification. And one of the things that I want to point out is through the International Hunter Education Association, all 50 states recognize each other's hunter education certification. So if you're applying for hunts here in New Mexico and you need hunter education, this is where you go to get your online hunter education. Let's say you're going to apply here and maybe you're going to go to another state. They will recognize your hunter education certification. Canada and Mexico will as well. So we all recognize one another's hunter education certifications through a standardized process set up through IHEA. So a lot of folks, they think, well, gosh, I took hunter education online here in New Mexico. You know, if I go to apply for a hunt in Montana, are they going to recognize this because I had it online? And the answer is yes. So you'll be covered. So, and again, it doesn't matter which one of these 3 options that you would like to go through. They're all recognized platforms through the department and through IHEA. So you can go on here, select whichever one that you want. Like I said, these top 2 are user pay. The one down here is free. One of the little caveat right now that I just want to point out, because I have had a few folks kind of call and ask about this, is the NRA course still is established for New Mexico residents 11 years of age and over. So I'm really trying not to confuse you all, but I just want to let you know, because it is starting to come up, that, hey, I tried to get my 10-year-old into this class for free, or this type of course for free, and it's not allowing me. So we're working on that with the course provider, and we hope to have that resolved soon. But I do want to let you know that one course right now is for 11 and over, and then the user pay are for 10 and over. And basically what you do is when you go through the course, it's a standardized hunter education curriculum. And you go through some lecture, it has videos, it has animation, so it's very engaging. And depending upon the platform, they all have their own style, but they are very engaging. You can log in and out of these options as much as you want, so you don't have to sit there and crank it out all at once. minimum amount of time it's going to take you for any of these courses is about 4 hours, because there is timed pages and timed activities. So you can't just click to the quizzes and click to the exam and be done. You're going to learn some stuff. So, and it's good. And maybe you took higher education when you were 12, and maybe you're in your 40s now, and maybe you have your kids of your own coming of age to take higher education. I highly recommend you doing this together as a family. It's worth the investment, and then you're all kind of on the same page and can be helping each other out when it comes to firearm safety, responsibility, and ethics. So it just kind of reinstills some of that stuff that you might have forgotten about. And we've had so many parents, Christiana, go through our classes, and they say, you know what, gosh, I kind of forgot about a lot of this stuff when I took it as a kid, and it's a great refresher. So so get on there and you can take the course. And like I said, it covers everything from firearms, handling, responsibility, ethics, conservation, outdoor preparedness. It's very well-rounded educational experience. Each chapter has quizzes that you need to pass. And at the very end, there's a cumulative exam that you'll also have to pass with a minimum score. If you've completed all that, you'll get kind of a yay, congratulations certificate, and then your hunter education number will automatically upload into your customer account. So that's kind of a really critical component, though, that I want to point out, is before you take any of our educational opportunities, whether it's online or virtual, which I'll talk about here in a minute, or once we go back to our in-person learning, is that you need to have a customer account set up for each student prior to any of these courses, because that hunter education number needs a place to go after you receive your certification. So, and plus, you can't even really register for any of these courses unless you have your CIN number first, because it's going to ask you when you create your little user account. I'm just going to click on this so you guys can see what that landing page looks like. And I'm not promoting any one course over the other. I just kind of want to let you see how this works. Then you'll go, if you're a new customer, you go into register, and it's going to ask you for some information. Once you get past this, it's going to ask you for your CIN number. So you can't even start the course without it. So I just kind of want to point that out to get you prepared. That way you don't have to keep going back and forth with stuff. So that's where our online options live. And so if there's any questions, has there been any questions that I need to answer so far?
So we have a couple, and I think we're going to filter through some of these. So I'm going to hold off on asking them. But so the online option to review is for 10 and older, except for the one course that's 11. That we're trying to get that resolved in between COVID-related shortages. But for 10 and older and adults, it's a great opportunity to go in and learn and get your hunter education that way, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then what about the 9-year-olds? What and the 8 and 7-year-olds?
Perfect question, because there's a lot of them out there. And, we are starting to get quite a few questions in regards to those age groups. So don't fret. We have courses available for them. They are instructor-led, but they're not in person per se. They are virtual. If you guys, I'm going to click on instructor-led courses. And we have a new course option right now, and it's our virtual courses. So, to kind of navigate through the challenges of COVID, we have had to postpone all of our in-person educational opportunities until we're able to safely meet again. So the way to get those 9 and 8-year-olds through hunter education so they can apply for the draw for any species is our virtual hunter education courses. We offer those through Zoom. And to register for those, you will register for those through your CIN account. So there is a little bit of confusion. Folks think that virtual and online is the same. So think of our virtual courses as you're signing up for an instructor-led course. And online is what it is. It's strictly an online platform where you're going to gain your certification, and you won't have an instructor leading you. So our online courses, like I showed you, you access them through this Game and Fish platform, and the virtual instructor-led courses, you'll register for those through your customer account, just like you would if you're going to actually come to a classroom. And we are in a classroom. We're in a virtual classroom on through Zoom. So just kind of think about it that way. So you can find how those courses work here. And then, of course, to register for that, you register that through your CIN account. And we post our upcoming virtual courses just as we've been doing our in-person or instructor-led. Is you'll come here to our courses and how to register. Sorry, I was kind of scrolling a little fast. You'll be on this course schedule tab. And this is the homework, and we can come back to that here in a minute. But you'll scroll all the way down to the course list, and we've been doing these virtual courses since summer, and they've been highly appreciated. People are really liking them, and especially now they're filling in less than a minute. So I do want to give everybody a heads up that if you guys, if you're planning ahead and you're wanting to get your younger student, if they're under 10, into a virtual course, you got to be ready to go when this registration opens, because we've had multiple people trying to fill up, limited spots, and of course it fills very, very quickly. So you'll be wanting to be in your CIN account right away, and it's kind of like a fire sale right now. So just be ready to go. And you'll see here that obviously you don't have to, it doesn't matter. And that's kind of a positive thing about how this environment is working, is it doesn't matter where you live in New Mexico. We host a virtual platform, and it's offered statewide. And we've had students from Carlsbad and Farmington and Laguna and Deming and Lordsburg and Raton all in one classroom. So that's been a convenience, definitely, for this. So but you'll see the class dates here, and the registration is open, and then as the class fills or whatever the status may be, we will put it here in the notice box. And the other thing to think about is a lot of folks ask, well, where do I find out what time registration opens? So that is through your customer platform, and you can view all of that. And I'm going to show you guys here in a moment what that looks like. So, and actually, go ahead and do that right now.
Jennifer, while you're pulling that up, I know these classes, the online, the virtual classroom, kind of done through Zoom instead of an in-person classroom, I know they're designed for the younger kid or the younger child. Are they only open to youth under 9?
No, virtual classes are just like our in-person instructor-led courses. It's still the same. It's open to students of any age, but it is geared more towards the younger student environment. That where the online course is geared more towards those 10 and over. So, but it is open to anybody. And so, if you feel that is going to be the better learning environment for you, then that's where you can go to take that. But it is geared more toward a younger student environment for sure.
Okay.
So that's a great question.
So you'll go to the website to find out when the class is and when registration will open, and then you'll go into your customer account to sign up for the class.
Yes, and actually we do post, so we have this is just like a basic place of where everybody can check, because you don't have to log into anything. If you're on your phone or you're just kind of sitting there, waiting for something, and you're like, oh, I'm going to check to see if there's been any more class postings. This is a quick, easy place to go. You can bookmark this link and have a quick search and go right to this page. And you can check this really frequently. Like within the last 2 days, we've added extra classes here to this class listing. Tomorrow, we are opening for our February 1st and through 5th class at 8 a.m. So, but this is just a quick reference and where we add classes for quick reference. And then, of course, logging into your customer account. So I've kind of bypassed the login process just to expedite how to get into my account so I can show everybody. But what I'm screen sharing with everybody now is logging into your customer account. And if I wanted to go in and register for one of these course opportunities that you saw on the web page, I come here to my Game and Fish customer account. I come here to Hunter Education, that's under the main menu. I'll click there. And then it's going to say, hey, you're about to register for a class, or, you know, because a lot of the times people will be in their own account for their child and they're like, oh, no, I don't want to register for myself. I need to register my own child or my grandchild, or, you know, I'm mentoring somebody and I need to register them. So just make sure that you're in the student's account, not your own, because if you are, then you're going to end up registering yourself. So there's a little bit of some confusion there. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and register myself. And here's the main landing page. We've updated some of the information provided here that will, you know, we're throwing out a lot of information to y'all. So you can always go here or the main Game and Fish website to kind of, you know, refresh yourself on what these requirements are and what classes are available to you. And that's been updated here as well. So it talks about the online only options, and it talks about our virtual options as well. So just remember, online only goes through the main website on that page that I showed you. Virtual Hunter Ed is just like an instructor-led course, and you still register for that through the CIN platform. So I'm going to click the register for Hunter Ed classes here. And you basically just agree to this terms of here by clicking. You cannot proceed forward without clicking. So you need to agree there if you want to continue on. And because it's virtual and it's statewide, I'm not going to do a list by county. And if you do a county search specifically, it's going to show you nothing because we're doing everything statewide. So just leave it all. As we progress through this pandemic and we are able to return to a classroom environment, we will be then starting to do more county type scheduling, but I won't muddy the waters right now. So for now, you're just going to leave it alone by all, and then you're going to click, I'm going to find courses, and that's what it'll show you here. It's going to give you a little bit more detail. So it's going to show that it's a virtual Hunter education class, no minimum age. This is when registration opens. So tomorrow we have registration opening at 8 a.m. for the class that's going to be February 1st through the 5th. And it's showing 15 spots available for 15. And so then it'll just slowly just start chipping away at the available slots. Same here, this class is gonna open on the 20th of January and it opens at 9 a.m. for this particular class. And of course, the seats available are totally dependent upon how many instructors are available to teach any type of course, instructor-led course. And this could change. This is very dynamic. So it could be 15 now, but as we're able to gather more volunteers and instructors, maybe we can bump those seats available up. And so every so often, I highly recommend if all of a sudden you get on here and it's full, keep checking. Keep checking on a regular basis to see if additional slots open, whether we're able to gain more instructors or maybe a student registered and they need to drop for whatever reason. And once those happen, it's instantaneous. If somebody drops or if we add more seats, it's instantaneous. So just keep checking regularly. And you know, folks have been able to get in if you're checking regular. So that's how that platform works. And one thing that's not here right now because it's not open, but tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., when this class opens, there'll be a blue sign up button right here. And that will allow you'll click on that blue sign up button and that will give you registration. Okay, so that will get you into the class. And then once it's full, it'll say 0 spots available. So that's kind of how all of this works. But because registration is not open yet, that blue sign up button is not there to enable me to do that. So.
And Jennifer, one of the questions that we just got, and I kind of have an idea for this answer just because I have helped with some of the virtual classes. But can you talk a little bit about, you know, looking at that 15 individuals for the virtual class seems a little bit low.
Yes.
And I know what you're going to say, but can you give us an explanation on that?
Yes. So the seats available is completely dependent upon how many instructors we're able to round up to help us with a virtual environment. A lot of folks think, oh, well, it's virtual now. You can host thousands of people at the same time. Well, in order to keep the integrity of our classes and the quality very high, we still try to keep it as in-person and hands-on as we possibly can in a virtual environment. The students are required to do homework before they come, and I'll cover that here. I'll go back to that here in a minute. So there's pre-course homework they need to do, so somebody has to grade that. There's nightly homework assignments. Well, somebody has to assign and grade those. And then on Wednesday, typically we have a firearms handling practice. And that's where we actually set the entire class up into individual breakout rooms. So it's not a mass gathering essentially on a Zoom platform. We take an instructor and they're actually assigned 1 to 2 students in the main class, and they coach them and practice them through safe firearms handling. And in order to do that effectively, you can't really do that in a virtual environment with more than about 2 kids or students, I should say, because these folks typically have never handled a firearm before. So it takes a lot of manpower in order to do that. And so as you can see, if we've got a class of 15, that's about 7 to 8 instructors just for that breakout session. And so, you know, that is our limiting factor of trying to do this. When we're presenting PowerPoints and showing videos and doing a few other things, yes, it doesn't take very much manpower to do that. But in order for us to do a really good job about firearms handling safety in a virtual environment, you know, we do have to limit those slots because a lot of instructors maybe not have the capabilities of hosting or helping with a Zoom, or they don't have internet connectivity that will allow them to do that. So it is kind of a challenge still within itself. So that's why we're trying to offer as many classes as we can, because we do recognize that is a limiting factor there. But as we gain more and more folks, then we're able to host more slots to open it up for more people to you know, be able to participate. And I just saw that there is another question about bow hunting. So bow hunter education is not mandatory here in New Mexico. We highly recommend it. Sadly, those classes have been a little bit on the back burner right now because of COVID. And that's highly challenging too, to do a bow hunter ed class virtually, but we are working on that platform. But it will not qualify anybody for hunter education. And because a youth needs to have hunter education to even initially purchase that game hunting license, regardless if it's for an archery only opportunity, you still have to have hunter education to purchase the game hunting license before you go or apply for that archery opportunity. So hunter education or mentor youth, which that's a segue to here in a little while, you'll have to have that in order to apply for or purchase that license. So, but hopefully we'll be offering some bow hunter education virtual classes as we're able. So.
And I can definitely vouch, those hand-on portions can be very challenging. And, you know, going through the virtual platform and you try to tell a younger kid, for instance, at one of the last classes, I was working with a 6-year-old and trying to tell them their left hand versus their right hand, and it's mirrored and it's all kinds of backwards. And it is definitely a challenge to work through. And a shameless plug for any parents that are listening, we have a whole series of YouTube videos that Jennifer did that can help learn those proficiencies, the carries and the shooting positions and the fence crossings, so that the kids and adults too have those skills before they even get to class, and we can just expand on their knowledge, which would definitely help increase capacity.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know, if they have a little bit of a heads up before they even come into the class, it really helps them understand a little bit more, especially in a virtual environment. And I know that the students have been, you know, immersed in virtual learning for already a semester already, and it looks like they're going to continue to do that. So you know, they're adapting fairly well to this environment. And then with hunter education, when we offer these virtual classes, we do hands-on in-class activities. So when we talk about ethics, we put them in their own little breakout rooms and they talk amongst their peers about a certain scenario. We have part of their activities that they need to print off sometimes for the next class session is they have to print some stuff off for homework and then bring it in. And then they work with the instructor during an in-class activity. So it's not just kids watching videos and watching somebody yap at you for a couple hours each night. We have really tried to make this a quality learning experience in midst of all these challenges, and the feedback we've gotten from parents have been really good. But we also recognize too that some students, they don't need that, or they don't want that. They would prefer to go just, you know what, I don't have that kind of time, or that I just can't commit to that, or I don't have internet connectivity that will allow me to do that, but my child is 12. Well, you can definitely go to that online option, and you can log in and out as much as you want. With virtual, when you sign up, you're committed to that block of time. And I noticed in the chat that somebody had mentioned, you know, what are these class times? So basically, as you can see, if you're looking at these class dates, we're meeting Monday through Friday, and typically it's Monday through Thursday from about 4:30 in the afternoon to about 7:30. A couple of nights we go all the way to 7:30 because there's quite a bit of material that we need to cover, and especially with that firearms handling practice, we want to give a lot of engagement during that session. We try to give them about a 30-minute break in between that class time, so they can, you know, get a break from getting their eyes plastered on the screen for so long, and they can get something to eat and take a break and just decompress for a little bit, and then we move on to the next. So it is very young student friendly. So I want folks to know, if you've got an 8 or 9-year-old that you know is kind of ready for that next step, then virtual is going to work for them. So, and if you've got your older students that maybe they've had a little firearms handling, you know, maybe they were already involved in the mentor youth, and that online option is ideal for you. So we've actually had a lot of 4-H students that have contacted us as well, saying, you know, my child is 10 or 11 and trying to get into 4-H shooting sports. That online option is awesome for them. So, because they're going to definitely build on that online platform information for sure. So I also see somebody asking if we have more than one child and one is able to get in and the other not. That is definitely a reality. Again, we only have so many slots available. So I wish there was kind of a way around that, but it is a first come, first serve. So a little hacker point is, you know, you can put 2 tabs up there and have 2 accounts open at the same time and then like simultaneously click. So there are some workarounds, but that is kind of my only, you know, hey, this is one way you might be able to get around getting a couple of different kids in at the same time, is having 2 tabs open with 2 accounts, being in the same place at the same time and clicking that sign up button. So it's kind of like you're playing a video game. But we just keep checking this. You can check here too. So as you can see, as classes are posted on the main Game and Fish website here, it also is posted here. But this particular platform through the CIN account is going to provide you a little bit more detail than the basics on the website. But as you can see, it's almost a mirror of what we're offering. So depending upon what platform that you want to log into, you can't like pre-register before anybody else on any, you know, if you go here and maybe you can, you know, you might see something a little before everybody else sees it on the other page. That's not how it works. It opens it up to everybody at the same time to make it as equitable as we possibly can. So, but just keep checking either one of these 2 platforms to get information about when classes are going to be. Once you actually click on the sign up button, you just follow some prompts. One of the other things I really want to make sure that everybody understands is make sure that in your child's account that you have a valid email address, because after you actually register your child for a hunter education course, it's going to send you a confirmation to that email, and it's going to send you a link essentially to download the homework and other necessary forms for class. And so make sure that you have that valid email, and don't opt out of emails yet. Don't click that box, because then you won't get that confirmation email about, you know, hey, you're registered and then here's all your assignments. So, And we're trying to use the customer system to sort of like the students are using Google Classrooms and Google Meets or Canvas or whatever they might be using in school. So we're going to post their homework and a lot of their assignments they need already on their customer account. So once you're registered, you kind of have all access to what's going to be expected of them for the entire week and what homework assignments are going to be due, which day, and all of that. So just make sure that you have a valid email address for that student account so you get all those notices. So
Jennifer, if a student that is 10 or over can take the online class and anybody can take the virtual class, even though it's targeted to those younger kids, what happens if someone is currently 9 and then sometime over the summer they turn 10? So they'll be 10 before their hunt, but not before the draw.
Okay, so yeah, that I actually talked to a gentleman today, right? That is this question to a T. So, if you're in that boat of your split ages, in order to apply for, let's say you have a 9-year-old and they don't turn 10 until July. At the time of their age is 9, at the time of the application deadline, okay, that is the hunts that are available to you. So if you have not had hunter education prior to that, then it will not allow you to apply. Okay, you can't apply and then try to retroactively take hunter education or get involved with the Mentor Youth. So, and let's say your child is 9 and they couldn't get into a hunter education class prior to the deadline, or you're cutting it close and you're just like, I'm not going to be able to make this happen. Well, we have another option available to those youth. It's called the Mentor Youth.
Before you jump into Mentor Youth, I have a couple more questions about the class itself.
Oh.
Where, for the virtual class, where can you find a study guide?
Okay, so actually for the virtual class, they will be required to have homework, and that's just right. We kind of scrolled past it here just a second ago. It's right here. It's the Today's Hunter. It's actually the same manual that we use for any of our in-person courses. It's available free. And so you'll just click on here. You can start this homework at any time. So if you're looking at doing a class maybe in February later on, and you want to get started now, you can do that. You just click here to download it. It'll let you do it for free. You can download it to any device, which is super awesome. It's mobile friendly. The only kind of quirky thing about it is when you actually fill out the homework needs to be filled out on a computer or a laptop because it's a fillable PDF and it won't save it if you do it on an iPad or a tablet or a mobile device. So that's the other tricky thing, but the students can start reading this and going through it at any time and download it on multiple different devices because it's free. So it's super awesome there. But you'll access that again off this main Game and Fish website. You scroll down and it's right under the course schedule tab. And it's right here, it's for free. I feel like I kind of skipped over the first question though about the split age. I think I kind of digressed there.
You're just jumping ahead. You're ready to go. But you do have to have hunter education or the Mentor Youth program registration, which we're going to talk about in a minute. You have to have it before you apply for the draw. So you can't wait until after draw and have it done before your hunt, like some other states might offer, but you do have to go ahead and get that done sooner rather than later.
Yes, that is correct.
And another question we had pop up, is there a fee with the virtual class?
Nope, all of our virtual classes are free of charge. So the only thing that has any kind of fee associated with it is if you opted to take one of our online courses, and you go to one of those two options here at the top. All of our online course offerings are provided to us through a department-sponsored outside vendor, so a third-party provider, and then they can choose what they're going to charge for their course, whether it's $12 free, $28 or whatever. And so the two online options that our user pay are in this red box. And like I said, the NRA course is free. just a little caveat on that one still that we're working on is that one is still set up for 11 and over. That one never got, was unable to get rolled back, like we said, for various COVID reasons and such, staffing. So virtual is completely free. The only thing is investment of time to help your child get through the homework and get them ready to go for class each evening. And what I've kind of liked about the virtual environment as well is, you know, we do require the parents to be there for the students 10 and under. And we highly recommend it for anybody who's registered for the course. So if you have a child that may be 13 or 14, we recommend you being there with them anyway, because you guys are probably going to be the ones hunting together. So immerse yourself in the environment, and actually when we get to the firearms handling, the student needs a partner anyway. So you're going to be learning and immersing yourself in it. And we really like the adult involvement when it's come to this virtual hunter education class. So it's been, because it's made them a lot more accessible for parents, because, you know, they can be there because you're at home. So that's how those two courses work. And I want to make sure that I'm also keeping up with some of those chats that we're getting, but it seems like we're kind of caught up on that one.
We're doing good. And so I'm pretty sure we're clear as mud, but there is a bunch of information on the website, and you can always reach out to us either through social media, on our messenger, or the information center, or the Hunter Ed team, and we can help clarify a little bit more.
Yeah.
But we do want to talk about the mentored youth program, because that's a pretty cool option as well.
Yes, so I'm gonna go ahead and click on over to that. Before I click here, because you alluded to contact information, right here at the bottom of the main Hunter Ed page is our contact information here. We are still teleworking, but on any of these numbers, we have it rolled over to our phones, so you can contact us, reach us at any time. We also have a you can click here and send us an email. It goes directly to the Hunter Education staff, and we'll answer your questions. You know, I know our call center is getting a lot of pressure, so if you guys have Hunter Education specific information, give us a call at one of these numbers. A member of the Hunter Education team will get you guys taken care of for sure. So we'll go into mentor youth, and I know that there was also somebody who had asked me too about Hunter Education numbers. Do you want to discuss that now, or?
Yeah, you know, that's a good idea. So after you take the class, how do you get your card and your Hunter Ed number? That's a great addition.
So with the Hunter Education numbers, like I said, it's recognized in all 50 states. And once you pass a course, whether it's online or one of our virtual courses, your you know, pass or fail status will be retained within your profile, and your Hunter Education number, once you successfully pass one of our classes, will be automatically uploaded into your customer account. And I'll try to show you that here in my account. So right here is where your Hunter Education number is going to upload. Okay, you don't need that up there. And your Hunter Education number will upload automatically here. So don't, and I think if for a New Mexico card, you can't type anything in there anyway, but don't try to put in some kind of weird number. If you think, oh my gosh, my number, I just passed the class and my number still isn't there. Sometimes it can take 2 to 3 business days sometimes for things to load into that box. So just be patient. If it's still not showing, contact one of us at the Hunter Education team, and we will look into that as to why maybe it's not. But it will be there. If you do type a weird, bogus, you know, funky number in there, it'll actually kick you out when you try to purchase a license or apply for the draw. It will tell you you're ineligible. So so just make sure that if, for whatever reason, if you took a New Mexico Hunter Education course and your number is not appearing in that box, let us know so we can help you out with that, and try to do that well in advance. A lot of folks start recognizing that the day or two before the draw, and it kind of gets a little squirrely. So especially we have to look in and dig a little deeper. If you took it back in the 80s, we have some really amazing archived files, but it does sometimes require us to do quite a bit of research to try to find you and upload your account. So just plan ahead for that.
And can you still get a hunter education card? I believe that there's still some states out there that require a person to actually carry a card. Is that something that we can still get during COVID?
So hunter education, once the online system was implemented, we then quit actually mailing out hard copy cards. So any of you adults that have your orange card, that is a collector's item. Cherish that, laminate it, put it in a safe place, because we no longer mail out hard copy cards anymore because everything's handled through your customer profile. So if you go to another state, I think it's, well, Texas and Colorado actually require you, and some of the states back east actually require you to carry your actual card. So if that is a requirement, you're going to go down here to print Nmdgf CIN card. And it's going to give you a PDF. And on the PDF is going to be your hunter education number and what state you obtained it from. And so you'll print this off, and then you'll take this with you to whatever state that's requiring a hard copy proof. And what's nice is you can either print that out, you can save it digitally to your phone. Some states are now, because of COVID, are saying, yeah, if you have a digital copy saved to your mobile device, then they'll accept that. So I highly recommend contacting the state in which you're going to be hunting, because every state's requirements are different. Their hunting laws, their rules and regs, their hunter education requirements are different, even just slightly. So make sure that if you're going to another state that you get really familiar with their hunter education rules and regulations and what you need to have on your person for proof that you took hunter education. So great questions there.
All right, mentored youth.
All right.
We have a lot of questions about mentored youth, so let's jump into that.
Yes, and rightfully so. There's been some changes to the Mentor Youth program this year, and so it's allowing more individuals to become involved with this program, which is pretty exciting. So the new changes can also be found on the main Game and Fish website. It's all updated on its own Mentor Youth page. So again, it's under Hunter Education. Click on Mentor Youth, and that's how I got here. And so the super cool thing now is we rolled back the age. The minimum age went from 10 to 8. So those 8 and 9-year-olds can now participate in the Mentor Youth program. One of the things, though, on the 8 and 9-year-olds is that they are eligible to purchase that game hunting license or game hunting fishing license combo and hunt small game only. Okay, so it's a great introductory step to get those 8 and 9-year-olds out there and hunting the small game. And one of the things that I want to point out with some of those small game opportunities is that people kind of forget about upland hunting through that draw that we have in the fall of 2021. So the department offers some special youth pheasant hunts that these individuals qualify for. So don't think that, well, man, there's nothing available to my child who's 8 and 9. No, there are some really great opportunities there. So don't forget about that. I know it's not the fall yet. It's going to be here before we know it. I can't believe it's 2021. So that's the new and exciting rollback on the minimum age of Mentor Youth. And then for those hunters that are 10 and 17 years of age, and one of the things I want to clarify for the group is the Mentor Youth program, just in case it's totally new to somebody out there, was established kind of an entrance into hunting, a try before you buy experience, to where you might have a younger student or a student who couldn't get into hunter education, wasn't quite ready for that much of an intensive learning environment, but had a mentor to take them. And so this hunter education or this Mentor Youth program was established for those types of individuals. We had a lot of other students who have been taking advantage of this program, who had a lot of firearms handling experience, maybe had gone out with friends and family members on a lot of hunting excursions, but have never hunted themselves. So this program enabled them to kind of get out there, try hunting, and then go right into hunter education. So it's a try before you buy experience. And then once you kind of tried it and you're like, yeah, hunting is totally my thing, then you can commit in taking hunter education. So it'll get you hooked right away for sure. But with that 10 to 17 years of age, that age group there, nothing has changed really with that age group on the species. So we have added pronghorn now to that list of eligible species for those 10 to 17 years of age youth. It used to just be deer, javelina, turkey, and small game, but now they can apply for and purchase a pronghorn license now if they're between 10 to 17. And one of the things that has come up, Tristana, that is on the age already, so I'll go ahead and tackle that. Because I talked to a dad today about, hey, my son is 9. He literally is going to turn 10 on the day of the application deadline. So I'm like, wow, you're cutting that really close, but you have a couple options. I basically told the individual that obviously trying to crank out the online hunter education course to try to get that done before the application deadline and apply is probably not going to work out very well for them. So obviously that individual, that child, has either the option of trying to register for a virtual hunter education course, or let's say that child is you're not really 100% sure if they're going to be ready for hunting or not, but you want to go ahead and get them to apply for something. So with this 9-year-old, they can get involved with Mentor Youth. And of course, because they're going to turn 10 on the application deadline day, they will be eligible because they'll be 10 on March 17th. They are qualified for those species. Now, if they're 9 on the application deadline day, but turn 10 later on in the year, they are only eligible for purchasing the game hunting license and small game only, okay? So that is getting a little squirrely with folks. So just think that you have to be of age at the time to apply for those species. So it's, again, now let's say that your child turns 10 in the summer and a private land authorization becomes available to you and they're involved with Mentor Youth, maybe for deer or pronghorn, then you can totally take advantage of that at that time. It just won't be available through the draw. But private land opportunities are available, because I have had a few landowners reach out to me saying, hey, I've got a grandson, same kind of thing. I can't have him apply for a pronghorn through Mentor Youth, but I can go ahead and get him a landowner tag come August when he turns 10. I'm like, absolutely. So don't forget about that. So the other new thing, those adults out there who have a child that are involved with the Mentor Youth program, you're going to be a mentor to that individual. And so now you also have to take a quiz. So both now the Mentor Youth and the mentor need to take a quiz. So part of that Mentor Youth hunting program, so if you're between 8 to 17, in order to continue on and be registered and participate in the Mentor Youth program, you need to take a quiz. Okay, it's super simple. It quizzes you on firearms handling, safety, ethics, hunter responsibility, so a lot of the hunter education stuff. And that information can also be found here on the website, but if that quiz, once you pass it, then you will get a Mentor Youth number. So it's kind of like a Hunter Ed number, but it's Mentor Youth. And that will automatically upload to your customer account upon successful completion of the Mentor Youth quiz. And again, it can take 2 to 3 business days for that the computers to talk to one another and get everything uploaded into your account. And then once that number is in there, and again, that 8-year-old can take the Mentor Youth quiz at any time. And maybe you want to wait for another year. Your actual time doesn't start in the program until you purchase your license. So the Mentor Youth program for the youth is good for 2 consecutive license years. Okay, not calendar, it's license years. So remember, our license year is April 1 to March 31st. So it's good for those 2 consecutive license years. And so you purchase your license, and that's when your time clock starts in participation in the program. So technically you could start with 2 full license years, or maybe you don't put in for the draw. You purchase a landowner tag in the fall, or maybe you go quail hunting in the fall and you purchase the license then. So, you know, you're into it a year and a half or, you know, that's when your time clock starts on that license year. So that gets a little confusing to people. But just think license years for this program, eligibility and participation, and you'll be good to go there for those youth. The mentors, so like I said, they also have to have a quiz, mentor quiz, pass a quiz, get their mentor number. It automatically uploads to your customer account. The mentor number is not it's not required to purchase a license. It is not required to apply for any hunts. That mentor just must have that number prior to taking that mentor youth afield. Okay, so it is not tied to the draw. It is not tied to anything like that. It is also, like Tristana alluded to, the youth has to have the mentor youth number in their account prior to applying and purchasing a license. So don't forget about that. It's not retroactive. So
Jennifer, is that mentor quiz, is that available, or will it be available soon?
It is available now, and we just need to update this link. So I got the confirmation today that it is up and running, but I will go ahead and click on, and it's actually kind of on the same landing page. So here's the Mentor Youth quiz, and it is the same place where the mentors are gonna go get their number. And it will also kind of walk you through the eligibility requirements for participation in the program. And of course, it'll go over eligibility. So the Mentor Youth, you come right here and you click Begin Now. And it also mentors. You come here and you click Begin Now. And you create your own little login, so you get credit for passing. And then it will automatically, once you successfully pass, it'll automatically upload your mentor or mentor youth number to your department CIN account. One of the things too that folks ask me is, well, I'm new to hunting. I really don't know much about firearms, or I'm not even sure I'm ready to take this quiz yet. I have no idea. Well, don't worry. There's a free study guide for you people and that would like to take advantage of that. Totally free. You come in here and it'll cover all of the things that you could possibly be quizzed on in that Mentor Youth quiz. So if you want to go here and kind of brushing up your skills, or maybe you're totally new to this environment, go here. It's a great resource to get you prepared for that Mentor Youth quiz. So
awesome. And I am seeing in our chat, we've had a few people say they're having issues with that link. If you are, give us a call and we can help walk through that tomorrow. Don't call right now, but give us a call tomorrow and we'll help you walk through that if you're having any issues.
Yes, most definitely. If you're having issues with any of our links, whether it's internal links or something that's being provided to you through a third-party provider, definitely let us know so we can get that ironed out and get you on your way to getting what you need for sure.
Okay, and I think we're catching up on questions. So let me do a quick recap while we're talking, and then you can fill in the blanks where I missed. So if we starting with hunter education specifically, we are not doing any in-person classes at this time, but there are two options. So if you're 10 and above, you can do the online portion, and you would click on that page you have up there right into hunter education, right? And then the online course tab. And then we also have there we go, the online options. We also have the virtual class, which is open to anybody, but it's really geared to those younger students that can't quite take that online course yet. So if you're 6, 7, 8, that's a great option to try and get into virtual classes, but they're free and they fill up very, 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 very fast. So be on it right at the time that it opens up. And I know you're clicking through tabs as I'm walking through my hands and looking off in different directions as I'm thinking. So Hunter Education is great opportunity. And the online course is open to anybody over 10. So adults, it's a great opportunity, older students, and then the virtual class for other students. And then looking at the mentored youth program, it is a free program. And this year, if you're 8 or 9, you can apply or you can take the test and go into the mentored youth program, but for small game species. So this wouldn't be, they wouldn't be eligible for the big game draw, but they would be eligible to put in for the pheasant hunts in the fall, the youth pheasant hunts, or rabbit, squirrel, upland game hunts. And then for 10 to 17-year-olds, they can put in, they can do the mentored youth program and do deer, javelina, pronghorn, turkey, and small game as well. That is correct. That's a lot. And then I guess the other recap is that mentors do have to take a quiz now, and that can be found right here on the Mentored Youth page, and we'll have that link up and working very shortly since we just got that program set up today, finally.
Yes.
Okay, that's so much information. What did I miss in my summary right there?
No, that pretty much sums it up for sure. And then, of course, with that Hunter Education number or Mentor Youth number, again, if any of you who have passed a course at some level, online, virtual, or Mentor Youth, and for whatever reason it's not uploading, let us know so we can dive into that a little bit and try to figure out what's going on. But you need to have those in place prior to purchasing a license or applying for the draw.
Cool. And Jennifer, my last question for you, and I'm going to keep an eye on the chat and the Facebook just to make sure we're getting all those questions. But while we're doing that, I've seen several people that are interested in becoming an instructor. And I know time is tight right now, but can you walk us through what that process would look like, or a quick run view of what somebody would go through if they want to become an instructor?
That would be fabulous. We are always looking for passionate people who are wanting to give back your knowledge and pass on your knowledge about hunting, angling, anything like that, shooting, sports. So if you're interested in becoming a volunteer instructor with Hunter Education specifically, you can come right here to our Hunter Education Instructor tab, our page right here. And once you click on that, it'll give you lots and lots of information about how you can become an instructor. We're working on our virtual instructor workshop dates again. Unfortunately, we're still not offering in-person anything. So our instructor training workshops are also being hosted over Zoom virtually. But the first thing you need to do is you need to initially apply to be a volunteer with the agency. And you'll be in communication with our volunteer coordinator, Darcy, and she'll get you kind of hooked up to become an instructor. You basically just fill out an online application, and then she kind of gives you direction as to what program. So if you're interested in Hunter Education, she'll send all that information to us and our staff, and we'll get you going on the path to becoming a certified volunteer Hunter Education instructor. And so some of that information is available right here. And, we keep our workshop training dates up here. We don't have any 2021 on the books yet, but we're working on that. So you can check on this particular tab for upcoming workshop dates. And of course, as you have been vetted through the volunteer coordinator and that process, then we'll be in communication with you of, hey, we see you're a new instructor. Welcome aboard. Here's your processes that you need to go through to become a certified instructor. And it's really simple. And especially now during COVID, everything's virtual. So you don't have to travel anywhere right now to get certified to become a volunteer. So it's pretty handy. It's a good opportunity for sure. So Tristana, I did see a really good question in the chat about there's still some confusion based on the Mentor Youth program on the younger students. So, okay, you did get that. Okay.
Yes.
But I think the confusion was that there was a little bit of some conversation going back and forth about, the 9-year-olds being able to hunt big game. Well, 9-year-olds can hunt big game if they take hunter education. They cannot hunt big game if they're involved with the Mentor Youth program. They have to be 10 to 17 to hunt those listed qualified species in the Mentor Youth program, those big game species. If you're 9 and 8, those youth are only limited to small game only. But if you've got that 8, 9-year-old that's ready to go on and take hunter education, and they pass hunter education, then they can hunt any big game species that's available, or apply for any big game species available. So that seems to be a little bit of the confusion going on.
For sure. I know there was a lot of changes when that rule went before the State Game Commission in 2020. So
yes,
hopefully we can keep getting the message out and clear up those confusions as we go.
Most definitely.
And then one other clarification, and I just want to mention this because I'm seeing a couple of comments on Facebook. These are two totally separate programs, the hunter education and the mentored youth. So if a youth takes any of the online or virtual options, their parent does not have to go through the mentor quiz to go in the field with them. So it is two separate programs that we're talking about.
That is correct. That is correct. Once a child passes hunter education, they can essentially, they do not need to be mentored. They've earned their hunter education certification, and they are not required to have an adult within unaided voice and sight distance as per the Mentor Youth program. So if a child is involved in the Mentor Youth, there are some pretty tight parameters set in place because that individual has not yet had hunter education. So that mentor needs to stay within unaided voice and sight distance of that Mentor Youth hunter, and they also must be a licensed hunter. But of course, now that mentor either needs to have the mentor hunter number or the mentor number, or must have already had hunter education. So I don't think I quite made that clear that mentors, regardless, you have to have one or the other. So if you're going to be taking a Mentor Youth Hunter afield, you either need to have hunter education, and a lot of adults have already had that. So if you've got that and you've got proof of that in your customer account, then you're great. If you don't, I highly recommend that you go ahead and do it. But if not, you can get that mentor quiz and get your mentor number. And of course, registration as a mentor. Once you've taken that quiz and earned that number, you don't have to keep doing that and renewing it. So same with hunter education. Once you have hunter education, you're good for life. So you don't have to go back and retake hunter education. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know this has been a lot of information. So unless you can think of something that we missed, which I'm sure there's something, but we can definitely answer questions in the chat. And I want to remind everybody, if you do have questions, make sure and reach out to either the Hunter Education Office if it's a hunter education question, or you can get a hold of our information center, or message us on any of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are checking those. We have a team of us checking those regularly because our phones are very busy. And I'm sure they will be very busy for the next 63 plus days. But I do want to remind everybody that the deadline to apply for the big game tag is March 17th at 5 p.m. And the draw does close, like it shuts off at 5 p.m. So you can't be started in the process. It will shut you down and kick you out. So make sure and get that application in early. Get your hunter education done early. And if you have any questions, let us know. Jennifer, I know you've been on Zoom. You were teaching a hunter education class and left early where other instructors are teaching that now so that you could be here with us tonight. So we appreciate your time, and thank you very much.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And kudos to the teaching team that are teaching this week. I really appreciate them doing that for sure. And everybody else who's assisted in this endeavor for offering virtual hunter education. So, but like Tristana alluded to, just to recap, that if you guys are having some trouble trying to get your questions answered just because there's such a high call volume, reach out to us individually at our numbers that I showed you on the website. and we will answer your questions. And most of us have been around a while too, so we can help with the other types of questions for you, and or we'll find some answers for you. But the biggest thing that I want to point out is if you have issues with any of our course providers, I think somebody was asking something about having some issues with the Mentor Youth quiz. They also have some customer service centers that you call them toll free, but I think sometimes they're inundated with lots of calls. If you're in this customer service black hole, don't fret. Give myself or another Hunter Education team member a call, and we'll look into it. We all have voicemails. We've got that general email that we will get also sent to us. So send us a message, and we're very, very responsive to your questions. So reach out to us directly, and we might be able to assist you a little bit faster than some of the customer service loops that you might get stuck in sometimes. But I think it's just the nature of the environment in which we're all having to kind of work through challenges on, for sure, on that front. So
Absolutely.
but I definitely think we've captured all the chat questions on the Zoom. How are we doing on Facebook and other social media?
There is several questions still coming in on social media, but we've answered a lot of them through the chat. So I would encourage people to go back and listen into different segments to catch it. And we also have Ross, a huge shout out to Ross, who is answering Facebook questions faster than I can read them to you. So I think that we're okay on that. And I think we can go ahead and call it for an evening. And again, thank you for your time, and thank you to everyone out there for joining us tonight.
No, thanks to everybody, and we look forward to seeing everybody in a class at some point. So fantastic.
Great. Bye.
Yeah.